Hey everybody, it's TJ here. Welcome to another episode of Smash Ultimate Countdown, the show where we count down the days to the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Nintendo Switch on December 7th by breaking down all the entries on the blog post from characters, stages, music, items, assist trophies, Pokemon, announcements, and of course we cover any other Smash related news that breaks throughout the week. As you all for sure know by now, this is no ordinary week. We were just treated to the final Super Smash Bros. Direct, in which the final base roster of characters was revealed, as well as a pretty in-depth breakdown of most of the modes. Many of our unanswered questions have now been answered. We've got a lot to unpack in this episode, so I'm going to do my best to avoid my usual propensity for long-winded diatribes. We're going to paint in some broad strokes today. I want to cover as much as I can, and you're going to get a pretty good overview of what was covered in the Direct, but I certainly don't want to leave you with the impression that this is going to be a detailed Smash Direct breakdown. If you're interested in devouring every last little morsel, the best thing you could possibly do is obviously to watch the Direct. But given the immense amount of content I want to cover today, we're going to try to move through it a little quicker. But it's still going to be a big one, boys and girls. So strap in, let's do this. First up on the Smash blog this week is a character highlight for Zero Suit Samus. Who would have thought, deep behind hundreds of pounds of hulking metal armor, resided a supermodel? Anyone who played the classic Metroid, well I shouldn't say anyone who played the game, anyone who beat the classic Metroid for the original NES, was treated to the reveal that this character you spend the entire game playing as, and I imagine most people presumed was male, turns out to be a rather attractive female. Zero Suit Samus made her Smash debut in Brawl for the Wii, but she didn't have a separate character slot from Samus. You could play as her if you held down the L and R buttons, if I recall correctly, on the selection screen when you picked Samus, and then you'd begin the battle as ZSS. I thought that this was a super cool way to be able to play with the different ways that Samus appears in the games. They were essentially completely different characters. There were no true similarities between their playstyle. Zero Suit Samus didn't in any way appear to be based on the model of Samus, but as they made the upgrade to Smash 4, any mid-battle transformations were a little bit too much for the 3DS to handle, so Samus and Zero Suit Samus each received separate character slots. That holds true moving into Ultimate, which puts Samus in somewhat of a unique category. Depending on how you think about Link and Zelda, given that they're reincarnated characters, Samus and Mario are the only characters who appear in different versions of themselves, which is kind of a unique honor. I understand why they're keeping the characters separate for Smash Ultimate, even though you could potentially put them back together for this version. I know I said it when we talked about Zelda and Sheik, I kind of would have liked them to have been put back together, but I know most people out there, that's not their thing. I kind of feel the same way about Zero Suit Samus. I wish that you could be Samus and put her in and out of the suit, maybe a little bit smoother than in Brawl, but they're separate and I've got no complaints about that. I'm sure that's what most of you prefer anyway. Now who's for adding that ending sequence costume from the original Metroid game? Next on the Smash blog, we've got a stage to look at, this time inspired by the Nintendog series, entitled The Living Room. I might be the only person out there who's never played Nintendogs. I'm of course familiar with it. I've seen a number of commercials, and I guess that's a testament to Smash Brothers because the representation of the dogs in the game looked to me exactly like the commercials, with them jumping up on the screen as the assist trophy. And here we have a stage inspired by them. There are 5 different kinds of dogs, and they even managed to slip a cat in there. The Smash blog also warned you not to get distracted by their cuteness, as you may fall victim to some falling blocks. I've got a soft place in my heart for all animals, dogs in particular. I'm definitely more of a dog guy than a cat guy. Hey, let's do this Splatfest style in the comments section. Dogs or cats? Who do you choose? The next spot on the Smash blog goes to another character. This time we get an overview for Rosalina and Luma. This character was first introduced back on Smash Bros. 4 on the Wii U, and right from the word go, this character struck me as a little bit unusual because it was hot on the heels of learning that we couldn't have Sheik and Zero Suit Samus as separate characters because of the 3DS's inability to be able to process transformations, and also that the Ice Climbers couldn't be included because it was too difficult to process 2 characters on screen at the same time. But then we have Rosalina and Luma, which is seemingly like 2 characters on the screen at the same time. I'm sure that there must be some programming difference between the way the character interprets Luma's moves relative to Rosalina and the 2 Ice Climbers to each other, but from the player side of things, Rosalina and Luma feels a lot like the Ice Climbers. Granted, they're not tethered together in much the same way. Luma is somewhat free orbiting, and you have only limited control over Luma's moves. Luma basically imitates Rosalina, but in addition to being able to present a long-range attack opportunity, Luma can be quite the effective shield. If you've been following my content for a while, you know my first Smash Brothers inspired show, Smash Supremacy, set out to determine which Amiibo is the best fighter. So given that they are Amiibo, the human element was more or less eliminated. So it allows the individual character's true qualities to emerge. What I discovered throughout the course of the show is that Rosalina is easily the highest S-tier amiibo. Luma's ability to defend Rosalina from powerful attacks is really a game changer. Ever since Mario Galaxy, there's been a little bit of a trend of Nintendo kind of ramrodding Rosalina down our throats. I don't know anybody who really asked for a follow-up of Rosalina. Initially, I thought she was a little bit out of place in Super Mario Kart, and then subsequently in Super Mario 3D World, and then later in Smash. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there who love her, but it took me a little while to get on the Rosalina bandwagon. I don't see myself maining her anytime soon in Smash, but I have reconciled myself to the fact that she is now officially part of the larger Mario catalog and not just strictly confined to her own Galaxy series. For a star mama, she sure is rough on those Lumas though. Our next item is an assist trophy from Donkey Kong Country, containing the Claptrap. Donkey Kong Country fans will recognize this little guy. They're basically like sharp-fanged mobile mouse traps that just run around and try to ensnare you between their teeth, just clap you right in those jaws, hence the name Claptrap. And their function in Smash Bros. Is much the same. They'll move back and forth throughout the stage, and if they come within proximity of you, they'll snap! Jump right at you. So be on the lookout, you don't want to get caught in those jaws. They might be small, but their bite is way worse than their bark. Our sample for this week comes from Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's called Battle! Wild Pokemon, in parentheticals. And dang nabbit, if it isn't a Pokemon song, it is one of the most Pokemon-y type songs that you can possibly imagine. Not 5 seconds into this tune, it's gonna make you want to go outside, throw a ball at a monster, and put it in your pocket. If you like Pokemon music, you're gonna love this one. You can listen to it for yourself at smashbrothers.com under the music tab, and all the Smash samples are there, so have at it. Alright, now we're getting into the good stuff. Let's tackle that Smash Direct. I'm gonna have to roll up my sleeves for this one. The Smash blog went live first thing in the morning on Thursday, here in North America at least. And not surprisingly, we started things off with a cinematic trailer for a new character reveal. These are always the highlight of any Nintendo Direct. The animations are gorgeous. They're always full of a bunch of surprises. The action is amazing. The cinematography, choreography, all that stuff on point. We started this bad boy off in my favorite of all Smash Bros. Stages, the boxing ring, with one of my all-time favorite characters, Little Mac. It wasn't long before we'd get a look at his opponent, American Street Fighter Shotokan Master, Ken. Many speculated, including myself, that Ken might sneak his way into Smash Bros. As an echo of Ryu. Amiibo Jason and I even did an entire video dedicated to Ken becoming an echo fighter of Ryu. My only real doubt was that I wasn't sure if Nintendo would want to create the situation where you can essentially have a Street Fighter match in Smash Bros. You can be on a Street Fighter stage, listening to Street Fighter music, having a fight between two Street Fighter characters. That's amazing! Ken's inclusion in Smash Bros., in my opinion, is a very fitting homage to the fighting game that really got it all started. There, of course, had been fighting games before Street Fighter 2, including Street Fighter 1, but Street Fighter 2 is the one that really informed the future of the genre, and pretty much made it a genre. And no doubt, in many ways, Smash Bros. Is what it is today because of the fighting games that have come before it. So to have Ryu, and now Ken, is just an incredible treat to fighting game fans. Ken is really the original Echo Fighter. As with many of the clone characters in Smash Bros., through subsequent iterations of Street Fighter, Ken has found ways to become a little bit more divergent from Ryu with his moveset and appearance. But his appearance in Smash Bros. Is based primarily on Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which happens to be the version of the game that I spent the most time with and that I'm most familiar with. So you won't be hearing any complaints from me. And if that wasn't enough, a pair of gleaming eyes in the distance soon join the fray in the ring as a new challenger, the Fire Dark-type Pokemon Incineroar. We talked about this on the show before, how it's a little bit odd that there isn't a Pokemon Sun and Moon representative as a playable character. The fan favorite, of course, being Decidueye. I would have loved to see Decidueye in the game because we don't have any grass-type Pokemon. Well, except for Ivysaur, I suppose. And now that Charizard is part of the Pokemon Trainer again, we don't really have a single playable Fire-type either, but now we do again. And even though Incineroar's Fire Dark type, he's got fighting in his blood. I don't know how this guy's not a fighting type. He's basically a professional wrestler. And that couldn't be any more fitting for Smash Brothers. When I first saw him, I'm like, it's Feline Zangief! So to have him appear with Ken, because of how strongly his moves resemble Zangief's, he even has the spinning lariat, pile driver, clothesline, suplex. One thing's for sure, this guy was made to battle. And his battle persona is too big for Pokemon alone. So I'm excited this guy made it into Smash Brothers. As I said, I have not played Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's the only mainline Pokemon game that I skipped, so I don't have a strong connection to any of the Generation 7 Pokemon, but it's hard to deny how at home Incineroar looks in Smash. And that rounds out the starting roster for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Nintendo Switch. I want to get your thoughts on this. Were there any glaring omissions? Was there anybody you were really hoping to get into the cast that didn't make it in this time? Even though Mr. Sakurai did confirm that this is the final base roster, don't lose hope, Smash faithful. If your favorite Nintendo character didn't make the cut, all is not lost. Keep the faith, my friends. Now to talk one of my favorite Smash Bros. Topics, Amiibo. Nintendo confirmed all the way back in E3 that every new addition to Smash Bros. That didn't already have an Amiibo, including veteran fighters, would also receive the Amiibo treatment. Inkling, Ridley, and Wolf are confirmed to release day and date with the game on December 7th. We also get our first look at King K. Rool and Ice Climber, who are expected to arrive in stores on February 15th of 2019, so a couple months after the initial launch of the game. And Isabelle, Pichu, Ken, and Young Link have a much more vague release window of 2019. And also Princess Daisy. Oops, can't forget her. And on the Smash Bros. Press site, we also had access to what the Amiibo boxes are going to look like. Still no word on the remaining characters: Dark Samus, Chrom, Snake, Simon and Richter Belmont, Incineroar, and the Pokemon Trainer? We already received confirmation that Charizard will function just like the Pokemon Trainer, and it doesn't appear at this time that Nintendo has any plans to reissue new versions of already existing Smash Bros. Amiibo. As cool as it would be to get a Breath of the Wild version of Link, a Link Between Worlds version of Zelda, and an Ocarina of Time version of Ganondorf, Nintendo hasn't done much to give us the impression that's something they intend to do. Whether or not this also includes the Pokemon Trainer and Charizard, we can only speculate. There's a good possibility we won't actually see a revamped Pokemon Trainer Amiibo. If you're disappointed that he doesn't have the appearance of the Pokemon Trainer, break out those paints and modeling clay. It's custom conquest time, baby. The next bit of news from the Smash Direct came as a bit of a surprise to me at first. Trophies are gone. Cut. Nixed. Axed. Not part of the game at all. I guess the only reason why initially it came as a surprise is because how much love and dedication went to the trophies in all the previous versions, and they were always a significant part of the collecting journey, although they have very little impact on the game itself. In fact, they were almost tragically underutilized. And so this time around, Nintendo just decided if we're not going to do anything with these, and they're taking a ton of resources, let's just not do them. How do you feel about this? I personally found the trophy collecting to be a bit of a grind. I really liked getting the trophies as rewards for when I beat the game, and I got my Mario trophy when I beat the game with Mario that was in the same post as my Amiibo, which I thought was super cool. And then I really liked getting the alternate one when I did it on All-Star. But as far as collecting 700 some odd trophies in Smash for Wii U, and however many there were in Smash for 3DS, I did like them, I did look at them, I loved reading the descriptions, but it was an impossible task for me. I just could not be bothered. And because you could get duplicates, I found it to be immensely frustrating. So I do not lament the loss of trophies. But I'm really curious to see how the community weighs in on this one. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And seemingly related to the exclusion of trophies, we got more of a detailed breakdown of Spirit Mode. I'm not going to dig too deep into Spirit Mode. If this is something that really interests you, I'd encourage you to watch the Direct. Here's my hot take. Spirit Mode allows you to collect stickers of the various spirits from all kinds of different franchises, Nintendo and otherwise. To earn spirits, you engage in fights that have a very loose thematic connection or share a vague resemblance with other playable characters. And they serve like badges that give you various buffs and enhance certain aspects of your character's performance in battle. The way I see it, it has a very confusing and convoluted RPG architecture. I can see how this can get very deep and develop a very serious metagame. One of the beauties of Smash for me is its simplicity. So initially, the way I play Smash, this doesn't have a whole lot of appeal to me. I want to wait until I get some hands-on experience with it before I fully formulate my opinion. Honestly, at this point, I don't really know how I feel about it or how I'm supposed to feel about it. So help me out by letting me know how you feel about it. We got a more in-depth look at how online play will function for Smash Bros. Ultimate. For Fun and For Glory have been retired in favor of a new ranking system called Global Smash Power. And instead of sorting you out by whether or not you are a casual player or pro style, you're sorted based on your rules and preferences. And priority is given to location as well, so you're more likely to play with people who live closer to you, which of course will have a huge impact on your connectivity. If you manage to raise your GSP high enough, you'll unlock a special mode called Elite Smash. I suppose this offers a higher challenge for the best of the best. When you win battles, you collect the tags of your opponent, and they kind of look like dog tags. They have some utility, you can cash them in various ways in the game, or just hold on to them for glorious bragging rights, I suppose. And of course, gotta make sure to read that fine print. To enjoy Smash Bros. Online, you are going to need to have a Nintendo Online membership. And if online battling's not your thing, but you still want to be involved in the online battle community, Spectator Mode makes a return, so you can pop on in without any performance pressure. For those of you lamenting the lack of voice chat in Smash 4, Nintendo's got a solution for you this time around. Sort of. Voice chat is enabled through the Nintendo Switch Online app using your smartphone. Or, I don't know, you can just call them. I don't know. I'm not really much for online play, but I know the Smash Online community is huge, and certainly one of the most prominent reasons to purchase a Nintendo Online account. What do you think of the way Nintendo set up Smash? I don't have much of an opinion on the matter, since it doesn't really affect the way I play. But for those of you who do you think Nintendo made significant strides in improving over the past version of the game? Or are they just a small series of half measures? Nintendo also announced a dedicated Smash app called Smash World that will allow you to watch and upload Smash gameplay videos. And once the app is up and running, Nintendo promises it will be updated regularly. I don't really know what to make of this yet. I need to get my hands on it to really understand the experience, but I can't wait to try it out. Nintendo went on to spotlight some of the assist trophies, and I know they broke some hearts here. More than a few of the assist trophies, I know there are people out there in the Smash community we're really hoping to have as playable characters. I'm not going to go over every little one, but here's a few of the notable mentions. We got Shadow the Hedgehog, Takamaru, I love that guy, Isaac from Golden Sun, Springman of ARMS fame, Dr. Wily from Mega Man, his is pretty cool, Fire Emblem's Tiki, and Street Fighter's Guile. He's a bit of a pleasant surprise, and as the internet knows, his song goes with literally everything. Moving on to modes, we have something called Century Smash, which if I had to summarize this, it's basically one-shotting a bunch of Miis into oblivion. I'm not really sure that there's much more to it than that. It looks like you just get attacked by a bunch of Miis and just easily beat them all off the stage. We also get some info about All-Star Mode, historically one of my favorite modes in the series, depending on which game you're talking about, because it's not always the same. This time around, you don't have to unlock every fighter to have access to the mode, but should you play this before you've unlocked everybody, you'll be limited to opponents from the fighters that you've already unlocked. Challenges make a return to this game, and while I think they play very similar to what we've seen in all the previous versions of Smash, they got a fresh comic strip makeover. I think it looks super cool, and actually incentivizes me to want to do more of them because it allows you to reveal more of the comic strip. I'm liking this new look. Let me know what you think. The shop makes a return here in Smash Bros. Ultimate, but instead of selling trophies, you have access to more useful equipment like snacks, support items, spirits, Mii outfits, and music tracks. And for those of you who like to Smash with your friends but have an inordinate skill gap, Nintendo's added some custom balancing. It allows you to change your character's power, making them weaker or stronger. -3 being the weakest and +3 being the most powerful. I really like this addition because it is so simple, and it will give me the opportunity to be competitive with my kids. I gotta put myself all the way up to +3 to just stand a chance. Now let's get into one of my personal favorite Smash Brothers topics, Mei Fighters! Anybody else? Just me? Miis are the best! How about some Mii love, everybody? Along with the improved proportions and updated outfits, we got a better look at how the Miis will function this time around. There was a lot of ambiguity surrounding the special moves when they first appeared on the Smash blog. Many thought that there would be predetermined block sets of moves that you had to choose from. I was of the mind that Nintendo would probably stick with what they had for Smash Bros. For Wii U, and while not explicitly confirmed, it does appear from what we can see from the Mii customization page, all the Mii Sword Fighters moves have returned. The number next to the name of the move is consistent with what we have on the Wii U, so if you have a favorite Mii fighter from Smash 4, as I do, it looks like they'll be good to go in Smash Ultimate without any interruption or alterations. Back at E3, we learned the Mii Fighters would have voice options for a Smash Ultimate, and we got our first listen of that at the Direct. You can choose from the voice and different pitches that will allow you to create different combinations to match the sound that you're going for your fighter. If you're familiar with my Mii v Mii series, then you know I spent a lot of time doing ADR on the individual fights, adding grunts and growls and key-ups to all the different attacks to try to add a little bit more personality to it. I also find that it adds a little bit more life to the Mii Fighters. And I guess I'm not the only one who felt that way, but not everyone's gonna go through and voice over their Mii fighter fights. In fact, I'm the only person I know crazy enough to do that. I really need to rethink my life. Just kidding, I'm having a blast with it. But now you too can add epic battle noises to your Mii fighter with the click of a few buttons. In Smash 4, your Mii fighter's default color wasn't determined by Smash Brothers, it was actually determined in the Mii Maker. If your Mii wears a red shirt, for example, his default color in Smash Bros. 4 will be red. It does appear that that might be an editable parameter here in Smash Ultimate, which would be a really welcome change to me. I love red, but maybe one day I want to wear yellow. Mr. Sakurai also highlighted a few new Mii costumes. I was really excited to see these. And they started off with a bang. We get the Yiga clan member from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, replete with sickle, one of the coolest weapons in the game. Man, it looks awesome. I can't wait to go head to head with the Yiga clan in Smash Brothers. We also get Splatoon costumes in the likeness of the Splatoon 2 amiibo. Why the Inkling boy and girl don't have these as alternate costumes might at first not make sense, but then when you consider the development cycle of Smash Brothers, it's very likely that the playable Inkling was developed before Splatoon 2. But if you prefer that look, you can go at it as a gunner. You can also deck yourself out as Ribbon Girl. That costume looks great. Obviously, you don't have the extendable arms. And the ARMS creator himself said that as far as an ARMS character being included in Smash, that it was a little bit too soon perhaps. He's no doubt referring to how recent of an IP ARMS is and how long the development cycle of Smash needs to be, and there wasn't time to get one of those characters in there. Obviously, we have Springman as an assist trophy, and now you also have Ribbon Girl as a Mii costume. I think that's pretty cool. We also get Chibi Robo. Welcome in, little guy, sort of. And Ray MK3? Ray McThree? Ray MK the Third. I'm not familiar with this character. Do me a solid, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Who is that guy? Or girl. And this next one is super cool, a Labo Toy-Con set. See, this is the kind of thing that makes me so in love with the Miis. You can do anything. The Toy-Con set looks super awesome. I'm probably never gonna use it, but I'm glad it's there. No specific mention on if all previous Mii outfits will be included, like Geno, or even some of the ones that have made it as official fighters, like King K. Rool or Crom. Actually, there were a lot of Mii Fighter costumes included as DLC. Are we gonna have access to all of those Mii Fighter costumes right away? Or were there some cuts? I guess we'll find out soon enough on December 7th. And for those of you whose hopes were dashed because your favorite character didn't make its way into Smash Bros. Ultimate, all is not lost. DLC content development for Smash Bros. Ultimate is confirmed. Nintendo intends to release fighter packs that will include one fighter, one stage, and multiple music tracks. That'll go for a price of $5.99. Or you can buy in with the Fighters Pass, which gives you access to 5 fighters for a price of $24.99. Keep in mind, this is a blind purchase. Nintendo realizes that. They encourage only people who are confident in the value of the purchase to buy in now. I don't know how you guys feel about this. For me, I'm like, take my money! Here, have it! Some people feel like $6 is a lot of money for a downloadable character. I see the work that goes into this. I see the countless hours Mr. Sakurai, Nintendo, and the team of Smash Bros. Pour into this. Am I gonna get $5 or $6 worth of time out of this character? Of course I am! I don't even care if it's a character that I don't like. As long as Nintendo keeps developing and releasing new characters for Smash Bros., I will continue to buy them. No questions asked. To me, the value is absolutely there. I bought every single tiny little piece of DLC for Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and I don't regret a single cent. Smash Bros. Is the kind of game that you can dig into for a decade and still barely scratch the surface. Whatever they want to give me, I'm in. Next, Mr. Sakurai takes an extended moment to deliver 2 seemingly arbitrary blinks. Not sure what that's about. As a bonus, you can get a Mii Fighter costume for Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And Mr. Sakurai did go so far as to say that because of the development schedule of Smash Bros., Rex was not a possibility as a playable character, but that he hoped being able to use the Mii Fighter costume would at least give you the feel of fighting as Rex. I know a lot of people out there have hard feelings about that, but I am very much of the strong opinion that it's better than nothing. No work has yet been done on any of the 5 DLC fighters, and Mr. Sakurai estimates it'll take a year or so for all of it to release. Then, just when we think the best news is behind us, Nintendo drops a free limited time offer in the form of a new playable fighter. That's right, the fighter you have been dreaming for all your life is finally playable in Smash Bros. Let's give it up for the Piranha Plant. Bet you didn't see that one coming. No one saw that coming. Nobody. You can't predict this stuff, people. If you pre-purchase Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you'll receive a playable Piranha Plant for free upon his release, which they estimate to be a couple months after the initial release of the game. He's also getting the Amiibo treatment, which is scheduled to release on February 15th alongside King K. Rool and the Ice Climbers. And if you follow Amiibo news on Twitter, then you know they've already gone up for pre-order at Best Buy, and I, for one, already pre-ordered all 3 of them. I couldn't do that fast enough. Actually, I also already pre-ordered the game, but I was a little bit too hasty. You can pre-order 2 different ways. You can pre-order the game as a straight-up digital download, or you can pre-order it with the Fighters Pass. You don't save any money. It's basically the game with the price of the pass on top of it, but you can't purchase the pass separately. Right now, you will eventually. You will as of December 7th. Just to confirm, I called Nintendo customer service, spoke to Brian, who confirmed for me there is no advantage to buying the Fighters Pass right now. It's the same price if you buy the bundle presently or if you buy it when it releases on the day. Even though Free Piranha Plant is a limited time offer, I imagine that if you don't manage to pre-purchase the game, you'll probably be able to buy the Piranha plant at a later time. I can't imagine that it's going to be a permanent exclusive only for pre-order people. That doesn't make any sense to me. His moves look surprisingly fluid. Guy doesn't got any legs, barely has hands. He doesn't have hands, he has leaves. He's got these great long-range attacks. I think he looks kind of amazing. For his final smash, he turns into Petey Piranha, swinging them cages around, trapping fools like it ain't no thing. Ah, Nintendo. Gotta love ya. Oh, and I'm gonna slip this in for all you fellow North American folks. Keep your eyes peeled for some hands-on events that will be touring the country. You'll have your chance to get your hands on the final build of the game ahead of the release on December 7th. Stay tuned to Nintendo Wire, as we'll no doubt keep track of all the dates and times for you. And finally, in typical Smash Bros. Fashion, we have just one more thing. We get a good in-depth look at a new adventure mode. It asks the questions, what turned all of these Nintendo characters into spirits in the first place? The roster of Nintendo characters spanning franchises Nintendo worldwide are staring at an oncoming army of Master Hands and some kind of multi-winged malcontent. Now, we don't have specific numbers here, but according to Marth, the Master Hand army outnumbered the Nintendo fighters 10-1. The odds proved to be too overwhelming as every single character was captured, except one, the pop star superstar, Kirby. Long believed to be one of the most powerful characters in Nintendo's whole catalog. Now this little pink puffball has a chance to prove it. Somehow, whatever captured all these Nintendo characters is a corrupting force, and seems to be converting all of our favorite heroes into a shadow army. Dark TJ would eat this up! Actually, I'm really hoping that Nintendo gives us an alternate skin of all these shadow characters. I know it's probably not going to happen, but they made them. That would be amazing. I want to play as Shadow anybody I want. This looks to be a combination fighting game, board game, adventure game. I know this little teaser is meant to, well, tease, and I gotta say my interests are piqued. The title of this little campaign is called World of Light, and during the trailer we're also treated to a version of the Smash Bros. Theme song with lyrics. And the title of the song is Lifelight. You can give that one a listen at smashbrothers.com under the music panel as well. So here's hoping that Adventure Mode scratches that single-player campaign itch that Subspace Emissary fans were hoping for. I'm intrigued. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments section below. And before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about those 5 Fighter Pass characters. Mr. Sakurai already confirmed that no development has begun. It's a blind purchase because, at this point, no determination has been made what characters they're actually going to be. Now, of course, I can come up with fighters that I would love to have in the game, but if I'm being completely honest, my Smash dreams have already come true. My favorite characters of all time are already playable. I get Link, I get Little Mac, I get Simon Belmont, woohoo! And I get me. But knowing that there's still 5 more fighters to be determined, I can't help but attach a little bit of brain power to this. So, if you'll kindly indulge me, let me give you my picks. I know a lot of you out there feel like there's already too many Legend of Zelda characters in the game, or too many Links for that matter, so at the risk of earning your ire, I would add yet another Link. Only this time it would be Wolf Link with Midna. Yeah, that would be awesome. I think they'd control kind of like the Duck Hunt duo. Midna's got that hair. They would obviously play very different than any of the other Legend of Zelda characters. It worked great in Hyrule Warriors, and I think they'd be a great addition to Smash Bros. My number 2 pick, another Legend of Zelda character, Skull Kid. This shouldn't really come as a surprise to you. Majora's Mask made a huge impression on me. Skull Kid is one of my favorite Zelda characters. He has all kinds of unique properties that would make for a very interesting moveset, and I think he'd fit right into that Smash Villains Rogues gallery. My 3rd pick might be a little bit obscure. He's appeared as an assist trophy before, but I think it's finally time we get a playable version of my man Takamaru. The guy certainly qualifies as a retro character. His game, The Mysterious Murasame Castle, was built on the NES Legend of Zelda engine. The game is available on the 3DS Virtual Console. It was brutally hard. His most recent game outing is Nintendo Land, where you mow down hordes of ninjas with some fast-shooting shuriken action. And for all the sword fighters that we have in Smash Bros., we do not have a single samurai. Something is definitely wrong with that. Next up, at the risk of stirring up some controversy, let's let poor Waluigi into this game. He is literally the only Mario character not in the game at this point. I mean, think about it. This is a win-win. If you love Waluigi, you get to let this guy finally have a moment in the sun, a little time to shine. And if you hate Waluigi, you get to beat the living daylights out of him. Everybody wins. For my final pick of the 5, I admit I was a little torn on this one. It comes down to 4 fierce female fighters. Well, 5. Depending on how you count it. I'm a big Veriti fan. I think that she's a lot of fun. The character's got a ton of charm. It'd be great to have her in the game alongside the other Kid Icarus characters. I also really love Ashley, the witch from WarioWare. I think she and Red might be able to make a cool little combo, kind of like Rosalina and Luma. In fact, my daughter was even Ashley for Halloween this week. Have a look. WarioWare is a big franchise, and I really feel like it needs a little bit more love, if not Ashley. Then how about Kat and Anna? These girls want nothing more than to be ninjas, to go out and beat people up. I think they'd be a really cool sword fighting duo, kind of like Ice Climbers, where they can cooperatively work together. They're a sword wielding character, you know I love that. And finally, I wouldn't mind seeing an official Ribbon Girl. While I'm not a big fan of ARMS, it's a game that didn't really catch on to me, I do think an ARMS character would really catch on in Smash. She'd have a super unique moveset, she's already got a great jump, so it'd be a really cool recovery. Those extendable punching arms are like no other weapon in the game, except maybe Simon Belmont's whip. A boxing match between her and Little Mac would be amazing. So those are my picks. But if you were responsible for determining the final 5 fighters in Super Smash Bros., who would you go with? Let me know in the comments section below. And that wraps up another episode of Smash Ultimate Countdown. Chances are this is the last big news dump we're going to have before the game's release on December 7th. Obviously there was a lot going on in the world of Smash this week. They threw a ton of info at us in the Direct. The game is absolutely shaping up to be something special. Even if you didn't get everything you want, there is definitely something for everybody. As always, I really appreciate you spending your time here with me. If you made it this far into the episode and you want to help me out, you can go ahead and leave a like. And if you're not yet part of the Nintendo Wire family, why don't you hit that subscribe button? And sign up for notifications so you can know the moment a video goes live. If you join me here in the chat, then you're probably talking to me right now in the chat, because I'm in there with you. I've been trying out YouTube Premiere, I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully you are too. This is a show that I obviously can't produce live, and because my interaction with you is my favorite thing about it, it's nice to be able to add the chat and have another avenue to do that. Even though the final Smash Direct is come and gone, I'm still gonna be right here with you week after week until the release of the game on December 7th, helping you count down the days. And thank you for helping me. That's just about enough of me. I'm out of here. Much love to all my patrons. We'll see you next time. Thanks for playing.